On the field, I'm number one. Pressure heavyweight.
Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. It's Tuesday morning, and what a week we are having. What sensational news we got yesterday. I mean, around 10 o'clock this time yesterday, we were absolutely going insane with the news that Ruben Amorim had been sacked, but things have moved on so quick since that point. I mean, it's been a whirlwind since that moment we heard that Ruben Amorim had been sacked, and it was David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano both almost at the same time tweeting that he's been sacked, and then of course we were all reacting to it. Helga, hope you're doing well, mate. I need to chat to you. I need your details, by the way. So whilst we're doing the show, please can you email me. There's my email on the channel. Email me. I need to speak to you privately. So make sure you please get the email and email me, and I'll pick it up and I'll exchange numbers and I'll talk to you. But let's get to the show. I had to get that in before I actually miss my point. I've been waiting for you to come back onto the show and see how you are. Hope you're doing well, by the way, and you're in good health. Sanos, welcome to the show. It's going to be a cracking show this morning, by the way, guys, because we've got lots to talk about, and it's not all good. It's not all good. And of course, it was never going to be all good when we've got owners like bloody INEOS and Glazers, right? It's never going to be good when we've got owners like that running the flipping show, right? And I've been warning everybody. I said, look, yes, Ruben Amorim's gone. Yes, okay, we're moving forward. But they're still the usual suspects who haven't gone anywhere. They are sat exactly where they have been all this time, and they are running the show. Do not get fooled. Do not think that this is not being dictated by the Glazers. The Glazers still have their fingers in everything. They've got their fingerprints over everything that's going on, everything. And we're getting some crazy news today about Jason Wilcox as well, possibly getting the sack as well. Yes, Jason Wilcox. Apparently, there's news coming out that that's gonna kick off as well. We'll come to that in a minute. Let me first quickly go and chat to you about the news that's breaking, okay? Let me actually quickly go to the chat, because I always kind of do this. Good morning, Sanis. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us all the way from Nigeria. Smashing it. We can say, Helga says, we can say what we want about Goldbridge, but he has well-placed sources within the club and squad. He said today that Sir Jim and Wilcox today walked down to the squad and asked them what? You're keeping us, ask them who they'd like as the next manager. Asking the players what the manager, that's bloody crazy and incompetent. Mate, they have no bloody clue. They have no bloody clue. I'm telling you, from what I'm hearing from people is that there's no bloody plan. There's no plan. There's no plan whatsoever. They're making it up as they go along. I mean, hour by hour. In fact, what they're doing is a PR exercise. What these bloody idiots, they're idiots. They're bloody clowns, right? What they're doing is they're making it up as they go along. They're making it up as they go along. That's what I'm being told. Now, I'm not going to reveal, obviously, my sources, but I've got people telling me that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know. We don't know. It's all up in arms. It's all up in arms. They say, look, we weren't told about anything. This whole decision about Ruben Amorim getting sacked, it just happened overnight. Of course, we kind of guessed it was going to happen, but no one was told pre-hand, like, look, this needs sorting out, that needs sorting out. There's no plan already in place for bringing in a new manager. They'd not, even though they knew that this might be on the cards. They knew Ruben Amorim, after the Grimsby game, was looking to get out. It's no secret. If you go back and look at Ruben Amorim and his behaviour, you can see the signs that he wanted to leave. Okay? You could see he wanted out. So as an owner, as owners, you should have been prepared for the worst case scenario. In fact, As a club, you should always have a worst case scenario. It's like, what's that business continuity plan, right? If something happens to your business, such as a fire or you get burgled or everything goes, what's your next day going to look like? You always have a plan in place, right? Okay, worst case scenario, what do we do the next day? So the worst case scenario for these owners should have been, right, what if we have to get rid of Ruben Amorim? What do we do then? Which manager would we have on our radar? Do we want to make inquiries with them? Do we actually want to have some kind of dialogue open just in case? That's what all top clubs have, or they should have. They should always have a plan B. And it's clear that these owners have been lying through their teeth to us, and now we're getting gaslit once again with this whole interim manager bullshit that we're being told about. Oh, we're going to have Fletcher. Look, I've got nothing personal against Fletcher. He might even do a bloody good job when he comes in. But that doesn't fill me with fucking confidence, right? It doesn't fill me with confidence, because I'm sitting there thinking, shit, do you know what? Am I losing it? Or do I want my club to know what they're flipping going? Like, it's like someone saying, right, I'm going on a flipping journey, but I don't know where the flip I'm going. Would you jump in a car with them? No, you wouldn't. That's a bloody waste of time. You're just going to go around in circles. That's what INEOS are doing to us. They're driving us around in circles. And what they've done is they've got the Glazers sat with them as well. And they expect us all of us fans, to follow them blindly. And I'm telling fans to wake up. Wake up, guys. Do not listen to this shit. This is absolute rubbish they're giving us. They're giving us rubbish. They're giving us rubbish. They should have had it already planned out, at least to some level. At least to some level, they should have had it planned. Now, this is a knee-jerk reaction that they've done with Fletcher. And I was talking about yesterday, we were all getting kind of excited. Let's not mince our words. We were excited. Of course, we were upset to some degree that there was this change going on with Ruben Amorim. Some of us were happy that Ruben Amorim had finally left or had been sacked, and we could actually start winning some games. And whatever your thought process is on Ruben Amorim, let's draw a line underneath that. Let's draw a line with Ruben Amorim. But we were all expecting to go and get a serious manager in. But now, in the last 24 hours, we're hearing bullshit news coming out. And it's not bullshit news, it's actual news coming out that United are going to actually just sit here and wait till the end of the season and then get in a manager. Just stupidity. We've got a chance to qualify for the Champions League, and you know what's going to happen, don't you? We're going to have a shitty season with whoever we've got, and then come end of the season, we're going to be like, oh, well, we didn't qualify for the Champions League, so yeah, we can't go and sign players, we can't go and do this, and no manager really wants to come here because, our top choices don't want to play not in Champions League, right? The managers are also going to be watching. They're going to be watching thinking, right, do we want to join this shit show, or do we just stay away from it? Do we stay away from it as far as possible? And look, Ruben Amorim was always looking for the out. He was looking for the out. And I said it to you when we lost against Grimsby. And his press conference said it all. And if I was INEOS, if I was Wilcox, if I was Barada, and I was sat there watching my manager giving a press conference after the Grimsby game, and he said them words, I would have immediately got my flipping phone book out, got my phone out, and started tapping up other managers and getting them ready. Because for me, that was a telltale sign that this guy's not going to survive. He's not going to survive. You could see he was already looking to get out. He was like, right, okay, I'm out. This is it. I'm actually going to play you a clip. I'm going to play you a clip of Ruben Amorim's rants and Ruben Amorim giving indications that he's not going to be here for long. We should have all seen this coming. But look, not us. I mean, for us, we're fans. But we should have had owners that saw this coming. Right? Let me play this. It's flipping absolutely insane. Yeah. Once you start watching it, you realise what I'm talking about here.
Being the worst team maybe in history of Manchester United. I know that you want headlines But I'm saying that because we have to acknowledge that and to change that. So here you go, your headlines. Sometimes I hate my players, sometimes I love my players, sometimes I want to defend my players. I think I cannot, this is my way of doing things, and I'm going to be like that. Sometimes I want to quit, sometimes I want to be here for 20 years, sometimes I love to be with my players, sometimes I don't want to be with him. So again, I need to improve on that. It's going to be hard. I think that the team and the players spoke really loud today.
This is it.
So that's it. And we lost, the best team won.
The team and the players spoke really loud. What do you mean by that? Could you?
Yeah, I think it's really clear what they spoke. So let's move on from this day. And I think was really clear for everybody what happened today. No one, not even the Pope, something got. It will not. This is my job. This is my responsibility. This is my life. So I will not change that. But I will change. I will change the system. There will be an evolution. But we need to make all the good steps. And
Okay, hold on, guys. I've got to stop it there. That can you see what I'm saying? Can you see what I'm saying? As what he's saying, it's crazy, guys.
I'm a player, and I have a coach that, with a lot of pressure, it doesn't matter if he's all around the world, is saying you need to change the system, and I'm going to change in this moment. They will look at me in a different way.
With regard to changing your system, you're now starting to understand that to play your 3-4-3, you'd have to, like, in essence, how a lot of top players, you're now starting to understand it's not possible. May I ask why you didn't realise that when you first came into the club? Or, I mean, can you clarify what you meant exactly, please?
I don't want to talk about that. Focus on the Leeds game.
That's interesting. It's not like you not want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you regret saying it, maybe? Is that right?
No. But I want to talk about it.
Okay, so I'm going to have to try one more time. Looking at those comments, it seems a little bit mystifying why you would say that a year in, that, you know, you're only just realising that you wouldn't be able to get the top players. Has something changed with regard to budget or what you've been told? Or did Jason Wilcox maybe talk to you about,
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
But you are very smart. So.
And anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Look, we know what the rest of his stuff. What I wanted to actually play back is that Grimsby interview, and just to let you guys see that, look, this wasn't a surprise. If you are the owners of Man United and you're hearing your manager come out and say these things, you should have been prepared. In fact, even if your manager's doing great, you should always still have a plan B. Always. Like I say, you should always have a plan B. And right now, the news coming out, we've heard it this morning from, I think, David Ornstein. A few others have also said the same thing, which is United are going to have a caretaker manager for the rest of the season. And then at the end, they will see what to do with everything else. And I'm just thinking, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you really expecting fans to get behind a caretaker manager, whether it's Fletcher or not? Look, I'm not having a dig at Fletcher here. I'm saying that we need an experienced manager to come in and do the job. We've literally, we might as well just have kept bloody Ruben Amorim at that rate. If you were not gonna bring in an experienced manager, you might as well bloody have kept Ruben Amorim. It just makes no sense to me what they're flipping planning here. I mean, there's no forward thinking, no forward planning, and I think they're going to do the most obvious. The most obvious is that they're gonna just get Fletcher and let him be the fall guy. Let him take the heat. And this is what INEOS do. This is what the Glazers do. They've done this from day one. If you go back, you see what they do. They always need a scapegoat. They need someone else to blame. So right now, their season so far and everything that's happened, all the things that have gone wrong, they're going to blame it on Ruben Amorim. Okay, everything was his fault. They're not going to take any responsibility for their actions. Omar Brada, Wilcox, they're not going to say anything. They're going to say, we had nothing to do with it. We've got nothing to do with it. But they did. What did they have to do? What did they They lied to Ruben Amorim. They lied to the guy. They brought him in under false pretenses, telling him that, yes, we're going to go and buy all the players you need for 3 at the back. Bullshit. Did they do that? They didn't do that. That's why he's got pissed off. That's why you can see a gradual deterioration in the press conferences, because Ruben Amorim's fucking losing it. He's getting stupid. He's just... He knows. He knows this is it. This is I'm getting shafted, and that was his let out. You know, in the press conferences, you can see him letting loose, and you could see him holding back. But because Ruben Amorim's such an emotional type of manager, we all know he's not like the one who would just mince his words or maybe say something that he doesn't mean. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he would say what he needed to say. But he got done over. I keep saying it to you. That, look, we're pointing our fingers Actually, some fans are not even bloody pointing fingers. They're just happy that he's gone. But for me, I keep reminding everybody, and I've been doing this since yesterday, look, do not miss the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that we've been let down by our owners once again. We've been lied to, and they're gambling with Man United. That's what they're doing. The Glazers, INEOS, they're coming in and they don't know jack shit. And that's why, Helga, your point this morning about them going in and asking the players, who do you want as manager? That's a piss take. That's like asking my four-year-old what they want to do for the rest of the bloody life, right? What should I do? I should be going out. It's like asking a little kid. It's like asking a bloody toddler, right? What do you think I should do for the rest of my day? Or, there's a life-changing decision to make. Let me go and ask some kid on the street or something. It's just ridiculous. Of course the players are going to pick somebody. In fact, I've heard that the players are upset about Ruben Amorim leaving. Let me bring that up, actually. I saw it somewhere. And I was like, what is that? Like, why would that even be shocking? Let me bring it up, actually. It was Samuel Luckhurst, and he says, the majority of Manchester United players are unhappy with the sacking of Ruben Amorim. Amorim was popular with the players and retained the backing of most of the squad members. Like, of course, they'd be upset. They'd be upset with him going, because, of course, they want... They're not going to take it. How many players are going to come out on Instagram and whatever and say, look, do you know what? We let him down. How many players have come out and said that? Zero. I've not heard anyone take responsibility. I don't foresee any player to come out and say that, look, it was our fault. It was our fault. That's the problem. But look, I don't even expect them to, because why would they? You see, the players are used to having an ownership that absolutely have no clue what they're doing, right? So they know they can get away with it. They know that, look, the owners have no clue. They're going to end up sacking manager after manager after manager. They don't have a clue, and they're coming to us asking who the next manager should be. Now they're going to get an interim manager. So if you're a player, what do you think you're going to do? You've got a ready-made excuse about why you failed this season. It's almost like a repeat of last season when we got rid of Ten Hag and we had no clue as to where we're going. And in fact, they wrote off the season even when they brought Ruben Amorim in. They were like, oh, yeah, it's all right. Because players have a ready-made excuse. They're like, okay, look, well, you sacked the manager halfway through the season. And we had to then adapt to a new manager, new style, blah, blah, blah. And that's their excuse. Whereas if you had a plan and you brought in a serious manager, one who you've been looking at, you've worked out with, you know what he's going to do, and he comes in and takes his group of players and says, no excuses, guys. We're going again. We're going for the Champions League spots. We're going in hard. No excuses. But we know under an interim manager, it sets a bad example. It essentially means, you've got a substitute here. It's like a substitute teacher, right? You're gonna chill out when you get a substitute teacher. It's not your real teacher. You know, they've got no authority. It was a bit like Ragnick when he came in. The reason why he failed wasn't because Ragnick was the problem. For me, it was because he was given the lack of authority and responsibility. That's what it was. The club made a laughing stock out of him. The owners were like, oh yeah, he's only here for a short term and then he's going to be, working as the director of football or whatever. And then the players start thinking, well, actually, then this guy's here just for short term, so why do we actually need to work for him? Why do we even need to lick his ass? We don't need to do anything. We'll just flip in, piss about. When he tells us to work hard, we'll just look at him and just carry on doing what we were doing because he's not going to be here for long. And that's the same thing I fear will happen with Fletcher. They'll look at Fletcher and think, yeah, okay, mate, shut up. You're here for a couple of days. Don't act like you flipping on the joint. You know, we're here and we've been here for many years, like the likes of Luke Shaw and stuff. They'll look at Fletcher and think, shut up, man. Shut up. You're not no gaffer. There's no respect there. And that's the problem. And then to make things even worse, to rub salt in the wound, they're going to get Johnny Evans to flip and be his right-hand man. Johnny Evans, the guy who was their teammate just literally months ago, is going to be the right-hand man. What kind of relationship is that towards your boss, the guy who's going to dictate what you should be doing? Imagine Johnny Evans turning around and telling one of the players, oh, you can't be doing this and you should be doing this. They're going to look at him and think, shut up, man. Shut up. You're Johnny Evans. You were flipping playing with us just a couple of weeks ago. And now you're telling us what to do. There's going to be zero respect there. And if INEOS can't see that, that just tells you where their heads are. And I'll tell you where they are. They're up each other's arses. That's what it is. I mean, Jim Ratcliffe, I don't know how he even bloody walks. Because he's got about 5 heads up his arse right now. Wilcox, Barada, flipping all of them up his arse. And then Jim Ratcliffe's got his head up the bloody Glazers' arse. That's what he is. He's got his head up their arses. So it's just a long train of heads up each other's arses. And at the top sits the bloody Glazers. I don't know which brother it is, but he's at the top. And everyone's heads up their arses. Because that's what we're getting here. We're getting a hierarchy where everyone's going back to the Glazers and the Glazers still call their shots. Apparently, the whole Jason Wilcox story is because they're not happy. The Glazers are not happy. Who the fuck are the Glazers? Why are they suddenly back on the scene again and talking about who they're not happy with and who, like what? Like these guys do not care about Man United. So why do they get involved in footballing things? We were told that it was only INEOS that would care about that. Anyway, I'm going to go to the chats, guys, because I know you've been waiting. Let's hit the chats. Let's see what you guys are all about. If anyone is watching and thinking, I want to say what I want to say. I want in on this. I want in on this today. I've been sat here as a Man United fan and I've been thinking this and that, but I want to talk about this as well. Have your say. Get in there. Drop your comments. Let me know what you think about INEOS, about Glazers, about the whole lot. You know what? I would not be surprised if there's fans out there who actually like the Glazers, right? There is. Believe it or not, there are some bloody idiot fans, if you want to call them fans, who actually think the Glazers are good for United. But I want your say. I'm not saying don't tell me you like the Glazers. If you like the Glazers, drop your comments. But anyway, let me know what you think about Ruben Amorim departure. Let me know what you think about his replacement. Who would you go for? I'm gonna in the second part of this show, I'm gonna discuss who Man United are looking at in a long-term manager position at Old Trafford. There's some names being mentioned. A new name has now essentially taken the lead in the name that everyone's talking about. And now, yesterday we were talking about Glasner. We were saying Glasner looks like he's in pole position. And now, overnight, that seems to have changed. And that's because INEOS don't have a bloody clue. The owners don't have a clue. So, like Helga said, they're actually going out interviewing players. It's like they've got a bloody flip chart, with all the names down, and they're like, it's like what fans do. It's literally what fans... Hey, we can do a fucking better job than they can, right? We might as well be in charge of who comes in. We might as well do a huge bloody poll online, wherever it is, on YouTube or Twitter, with all the Man United fans. They might as well bloody put out a poll in this case. They might as well put a poll out with all the managers and get the Man United fans to select who you want. They might as well do that. If they don't have a clue, let the fans decide. So we do a poll and we decide who the manager is. Now, we thought Glasner was going to be the one in charge. He's going to be coming in very shortly. I was kind of pleased with that because I was like, right, okay, do you know what? At least we're not going to be without a serious manager, a proper manager for too long. At least we can resurrect our season. At least we can compete for the Champions League spots. Now, an interim manager coming in doesn't fill me with that confidence. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I know it's Fletcher. I know whoever it is. I mean, there's even Solskjaer been mentioned as the guy who's going to come in and actually, come in and take over. But we'll mention Solskjaer as well because lots has been happening overnight with Solskjaer as well. Solskjaer's thrown his hat in. Of course, he loves Man United. I just feel like the guy can't handle another sacking. Surely not. I mean, the last time when we saw him getting sacked and he was crying, he was upset, and I was thinking, shit, man, what have we done to the guy? What have we done to him? And I was thinking, I don't want that again. I do not want to see that again, man. I felt sorry for him. I really did. Anyway, let's go to the chats. Let's see what everyone is saying. Nish, welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well. I mean, Nish has been saying for some time about Ruben Amorim getting the sack. He's been calling it for some time, and he was right. He's been saying it for some time. He actually started way back. And he said, look, I think he's going to get the sack. And you were right, Nish. You were on point with that. I mean, we've been discussing it for some time. We were discussing it, saying, okay, look, the moves that he's making, the decisions that he's making are not good. The stubbornness that he's showing is not good. Now, Nish knows, and I've not changed my opinion on it. I've said it from day one. Look, I actually like Ruben Amorim. It might be controversial. You might not agree with me. You might think, what is he on about? Travis is talking shit right now. How can he like Ruben Amorim when his win rate was so shit and stuff? Look, I like Ruben Amorim as a manager, as a guy, as the person who came out and kind of spoke with the press, and the way his demeanour. I liked him. I liked his emotional edge and the way he was. I liked his honesty at times, but I also, again, wasn't happy with his win rate. I mean, it was shit. We have to agree. We have to look at both sides and be able to call out whoever we want to. And at times, I'm not a fan who's going to be completely blinded by the love of a manager. Unfortunately, I'm not like that. I'm going to call it out like I see it. If I see Ruben Amorim doing well, I'll be like, right, he's done well. I think he's done well in certain things, but there's a lot of things he's not done well at. But yeah, they're talking about Ollie coming back. They had a meeting, either the players asking them which player that they want next. Unbelievable. Absolutely joke, isn't it? Absolute joke. Fletcher, interim man, before the head coach. Imagine us going for a World Cup manager. We won't have them in before 30th of July. Really worrying, mate. Exactly. Now, one of the names being mentioned is Tuchel, Thomas Tuchel, England manager currently, ex-Chelsea manager, ex-PSG manager. We heard Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt in their podcast. I played the clip for you yesterday. I might play it again for you if I get time, talking about how they love Thomas Tuchel. I was kind of surprised. I'll be honest with you. Thomas Tuchel is not on top of my list. Let me know if you agree, disagree with them, what you think of Thomas Tuchel. There's also talk of Ancelotti coming to United. I can't see that happening. I really can't see Thomas Tuchel being that guy coming in. The Manchester United way. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for joining us once again today. We went through a crazy day yesterday, didn't we? It was crazy. It was just absolute mayhem. The news coming out non-stop. The leak, so many bad stuff about Amorim now after he called them out. But yet, if things were so bad, why didn't you just sack him weeks ago? They tried so hard to change his way of doing things. Yeah, they did. Look, it was inevitable. It's inevitable that this now they're going to start drip feeding negativity, negative news about Ruben Amorim when he's not here to talk about it. Of course, that was going to happen. I did say that. I warned you guys. I said, look, watch what they're going to do. They're going to start briefing certain journalists about all the negative stuff about Ruben Amorim, so the fans completely turn against Ruben Amorim and are sat in the INEOS camp, and they will say, INEOS, you're right. Do whatever you need to do. You're the best. You're the best. You do what you need to do. That's what it is. Nish says, why aren't we signing anyone this window? It's clear any coach coming in will have zero impact, absolutely zero impact. Who the clubs assign or doesn't sign, even if they have an input. Well, this is the biggest smokescreen. I said to you yesterday afternoon, I said this is the mother of all smoke screens. This is INEOS deflecting our attention, the fans' attention from the January transfer window. They don't want anyone calling them out saying, go and sign. Who the hell are we signing? Look at Man City, look at Liverpool, look at Chelsea. Even bloody Arsenal might end up signing players in the January transfer window. Why can we not go and sign players? But this is it. Look, everyone's now going to forget about the need for a midfielder. Everyone's going to forget about any other player that we need to go and sign. And INEOS are chilling. But you'll be shocked at how much they've paid Amorim to get out of this club. I'm going to bring them figures up later as well, so stay tuned for that. If you want to know exactly what they paid Ruben Amorim to leave the club yesterday, you'll be shocked. You will be shocked. But yeah, good point there, Nish. Good point. Helga says, imagine being hired as a chef for a restaurant and the owner's telling you how to cook your pasta, not having it, and then you ask for a better oven to make better food. Told no. You complain, get fired. Helga, were you secretly watching my show yesterday? I think you were. I think you were watching it using another account, because I essentially said the same thing. I gave the example, but it's a very good example, by the way. If you've just come up with it yourself, I think that's a very good example, because I gave essentially the same example. I said I gave the example of someone being told to cook a lasagna, and you're giving him shit ingredients to do it, and you know you're giving him shit ingredients, and they keep producing a shit lasagna, and then you sack him. You sack him and you bring somebody else and say, make me a really nice lasagna. Here are your ingredients. And every time the chef says, actually, I need some better ingredients, you think, shut up, sack him, get him out of here. He's just dared to ask us about getting some more ingredients, some better quality ingredients. Cook with what you've got. And that's what essentially I said that. I mean, but yeah, great minds, I guess, think alike. That is good. Stephen, welcome to the show, my friend. Hope you're doing well. The problem of letting people who don't know how to run a club is a magnitude of Manchester. Yep, absolutely, man. This is it. This is it. I can see ourselves in maybe another year or 2 years, maybe. I think it's the 2-year cycle, isn't it? It's about 2 years. I can see myself sat here in 2 years talking about exactly the same thing. Unfortunately, I really am worried, but this is it, because we're missing the bigger picture. We're missing the bigger picture. This isn't about managers. This isn't about Ruben Amorim or Solskjaer or whoever's come in and gone. This is about the ownership. This goes all the way back to the Glazers, and then now their puppet called Sir Jim Ratcliffe. That's what it all comes down to, guys. It all comes down to that. We're arguing about what colour to paint the wall when the house around us has completely fallen apart. The foundations are completely shit. The foundations are the owners, right? They're the ones who are crumbling, and they've allowed everything else to fall apart. And we're complaining about what colour this wall should be as fans. That's essentially how I look at the situation. I look at it and I'm thinking we're complaining about whether Ruben Amorim's win rate was good or bad or this and that. But in reality, we've got owners who are completely gambling with this club and taking it down the drain, whilst we are sat here not seeing it. We're not seeing it. And we need to wake up and see that these guys are flipping shafting us. Day in, day out, they are doing us over. Yeah, you saw right. He checked out after Grimsby. Yeah, he did, man. He did. I mean, look, I like Ruben Amorim, but even I said, shit, this guy's, he's on his way out, man. He's ready to jump ship, man. He's like the first one to jump ship off the Titanic, let's be honest. I agree about Grimsby take at least slowly plan for a replacement. Also, he threatened in January 2025 already to quit. He is like that. They should be prepared for everything, and they aren't. Yeah, look, and I don't fully hold it against Ruben Amorim. They knew what they were getting. They knew when they brought him in that he was an emotional manager, really kind of said what he felt like saying, didn't hold back. That's something that Man United should have been aware of. They're the ones who signed him. They're the ones who kind of went, looked out for him and brought him in. So they should have known, right, okay, this guy is going to be like this. He's going to be someone who might call us out in the future if we don't give him what he wants. Helga says, my God, I already miss him when watching those clips. I hate the club failed him, and we brought in, if we had just brought in Ruben Neves, Gallagher and 2 wing-backs, we'd easily get top 4. I've been saying this since yesterday. I've been saying, I don't get this. I don't get why we didn't back him. He wasn't asking for bloody Mbappe. He wasn't asking for Bellingham or Vinicius Junior or flipping Vitinho or Dembele or something, or flipping you name the top players right now. He wasn't asking for anything like that. He was just flipping asking for a centre mid or 2 and 2 decent wing backs. That's all he wanted. Why didn't you just flip and give it to him and see? At least then you could have said, right, no excuses now, Ruben. We've given you what you flipping wanted. Go and cook and get the Champions League spots. I think that they weren't planning to hear him go off on them. That's what I think's happened. I think that what's happened is that they were not ready for Ruben Amorim to turn on them. And Ruben Amorim, you got to give it to him. The guy's got balls, man. The guy's got balls. He turned around and he took down Wilcox. In that press conference the other day on Sunday afternoon. You got to give it to him. Look, he's got balls. And whatever you say, whatever you think about Ruben Amorim, his bloody presses were quite interesting. Man United breaks managers, player power, sack managers, are deadly serious. We are completely screwed. Yeah, we are, man. We've got players who have got so used to this cycle and they don't give a shit. In fact, they've got drafts probably in their Instagram. They've probably got drafts of saying thank you, good luck manager. I bet you they have, man. I bet you they've got drafts. You know how when you save a draft, that's what they've got, man. They've got drafts in their Instagram ready to go as soon as the next manager goes. I mean, they probably already saved their pictures. Where did they pull out these pictures? Yesterday we saw Dogu with a picture of Ruben Amorim, and then Ahmad with a picture of Ruben Amorim, and I'm thinking, shit, man, these guys have got all these cinematic pictures of them next to the gaffer. And they're like, good luck, gaffer. And I'm thinking, shit, these guys were prepared, man. These guys knew well before that. They've got an automated bloody response there. Automated post going out on Instagram about Ruben Amorim getting the sack. I'm a huge The Joker fan. I'm a huge Joker fan, and no one said it better than Heath Ledger. Nobody panics when things go according to plan, even if the plan is horrifying. That's so interesting you say that, Helga, because I was watching the Batman trilogy, the best one, obviously, with the Joker and the Batman. What's his name, man? I can't remember his bloody name now. But anyway, you know what I mean. Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, and Dark Knight, the best trilogy of Batman. And I was watching it over the holiday period, and I was thinking. I remember that line. I remember that line, man. It is a sick movie, by the way. Sick movie. If you haven't watched it, go and watch Batman and the Dark Knight and everything. Oh, brilliant, man. The Joker, Bane. Anyway, allow movies for now. We've got our own bloody movie going on right now. We've got the Man United movie going on with these bloody fraud of actors, man. We've got these imposters. We've got these imposters, man. Talk about jokers. We've got bloody a whole line of jokers, right? Could literally be a quote on Manchester United if it's so fitting. It is. No one could keep Amorim because he hurt little Wilcox feelings. Yes, it's being sarcastic. Yeah, look, he did. He went and took down Wilcox in that presser. He did. Everyone knew it. Everyone knew who he's talking about. Lucky, welcome to the channel, mate. Hope you're doing well. We need January window policy change. I think that's what you're trying to say. Stupid fans, brain dead fan base. Yeah, we've got INEOS and Glazers out. Yeah, man. Yes. This is what we're talking about. We need the ownership to change, guys. It's not going to change. What we're doing right now is just going through the process once again. If you've been there, seen there, done it, got the t-shirt, you know what I'm on about. You know what I'm on about. We do the same process again and again. And I swear, I think there's some fans who are addicted to the process. They enjoy this process, man. They enjoy the process of bringing in a manager. They've got so used to this whole cycle that they enjoy it. It's become one of those things. They know, all right, okay, I want a bit of excitement in my Manchester United life. Let's get rid of the manager. Then we'll talk about bringing in the manager, and then all this news, and then we'll talk about formations and this and that, and then the same shit starts all over again. And I swear there's some fans who are proper addicted to bringing in new managers. It's like they're playing FIFA. It's like they're just playing, whatever, championship manager or whatever it is, they'll just want to do themselves. And it's like they can just chop and change whenever they feel like. That's what I get like. But it's about INEOS. So lucky, yes, on point. Well done. The Manchester United way, all those links to managers like Tuchel and Ancelotti are so wide off the mark. Tuchel and De Zerbi already rejected us once because what we offered them as a control. They are not puppets. Always make some serious factual comments you do, Manchester United way. Seriously, man. Thank you for joining us again today. But seriously, this guy's just dropped some facts on us there. We are looking for a puppet. Well, not we. INEOS are looking for a puppet. You really think the likes of Tuchel, the likes of Ancelotti will come in as puppets? No, they won't. Look, Tuchel got sacked from PSG because he wasn't a puppet. Tuchel, Chelsea, it's the same thing. Why are we expecting these managers, these top grade Class A managers, to come in at United and act like pussies? They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're going to say, no way, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You give us full control or no control. If Ruben Amorim, who arguably is an inexperienced manager, if he's saying, look, I want control. I want control of the club. I want control of the players coming in and out. I want control of the contracts and everything. If he's asking for it, and you could argue he's inexperienced, what do you think all these managers like Tuchel or Ancelotti will be asking for? Even though I wanted Amorim to stay, if they sacked him due to result and performance, I couldn't argue. Would be fair, even though they didn't back him. But they sacked him because he hurt Wilcox's feeling. 100% on point. I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep on saying it. They sacked him not because of the results, not because of his win rate. Yes, we as fans, I was complaining about it. Other fans were complaining about it. I know Niche was complaining about it. I know other fans were bringing the facts to the table and saying, look, nothing personal against Ruben Amorim, but his win rate is shit and we need a better manager. That's what a lot of people were saying, and that's why I think it's right. We need to. Chris, welcome to the show, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for your comment. Do you know what funny? They say it costs to sack, but soon anyone mentions the board, they can sack who can believe the trust. Yeah, exactly. That we were hearing for months. We were hearing about they can't get rid of Ruben Amorim because it costs so much money, and they can't do this and they can't do that because it's going to end up costing them too much money. Let me bring up some facts for you guys. Here we go. Let me bring up some actual hardcore facts about Ruben Amorim and what it flipping cost us to sack him yesterday. A cool £27.35 million. That's what it cost Man United yesterday to pull the plug on Ruben Amorim's career at United. Now, it was £9.5 million in compensation to Sporting. Then it was a £7.8 million already earned from his contract, which obviously he's been paid, right? And then it's £10.05 million payout for the rest of his contract. Insane. No wonder he was smiling, walking with his wife, because the guy's earned £10 million without having to lift a finger, without having to take any stress or anything. He only managed a win rate of 36.92% during his time at United. Now, whatever excuse or whatever you want to say about that, I mean, I simply can't defend that. I can't defend the win rate. I really can't. I look at it and think, yeah, look, that's bad. That's bad. And, you know, we were going through reasons for why that could have happened. He joined halfway through the season and it wasn't going good and things like that. But still, as a manager, you should be doing better than that. You should be doing better than that. So, look, that was, for me, that was insane. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. That is a lot of money that we've had to throw down the pan. And so that point that you've just made there is perfect. Yeah, we talk about not having any money, but we've just gone and spent all that money. What happened? We could have bought some players in for that much money, right? Manchester United, where I said to your next manager, need January and summer transfer window choices. And then look, it says, INEOS Glazers out, fan told everyone January summer window, it's got to change. I'm not even bothered anymore who the manager is. Yeah, I think, look, Chris, the problem is that's what most fans are going to get like. The more this goes on, the more we're going to end up saying, oh, forget this. I'm sick of this. I'm sick and tired of this shit already. Right? If they've got no plan and you can't dictate anything, we're going to end up getting sick of what's going on at United. We're going to be like, right, okay, forget this. Luis Enrique, imagine Luis Enrique coming in and being told to start with a false 9 by Jason Wilcox. We literally have chosen a gameplay model which excludes all the best and elite managers. Yep, we have. What we've got right now is a board who think they can tell a board that actually doesn't really know much about football. They've got, what are their credentials? We don't bloody know, right? But what we do know is that they're trying to dictate to a manager or a coach or a head coach how to set the team up and how to play football. That is the problem. That's why I look at it and think, look, these guys, what are they on about? No manager is going to accept that job. Everyone's going to turn us down. Everybody. Helga says, we don't have a game model. They hired Amorim because they liked his game model. And a year later, they told him to change everything about him and why they hired him. Yep, exactly. So, we've got to blame the people who appointed him. We're kind of missing the picture here. Like I said, we're thinking, oh, right, do you know what? In fact, as soon as they brought him in, I think within a few months, they tried to change the way he was playing. They were like, oh, look, actually, we brought you in. We know you want to play 3 at the back, but why not try 4 at the back? Why not try? Because they realised that the cost of getting in a squad that can play 3 at the back is huge compared to just bringing in, the normal players that can fit into the normal formations of 4-3-3 or 4-4-2 or whatever it is. That's why they had to go back to him and say, actually, we've changed our mind. We don't want to play 3 at the back anymore because it's costing us too much. That's why I put a game model in these, because it's not even a game model. So I wrote game model. Yeah, look, this is it, man. This is it. I like Amorim as a person, and to be honest, I'm actually upset that he's gone. On reflection, he was never ever backed. The whole project was a fraud from the beginning. Tuchel will never happen. Well, this is it, man. The thing is, Tuchel is being touted as the next manager, but I think this is just gaslighting. I think this is an absolute bullshit. I think this is lies. They're trying to tell us that this is the news coming out today as well. So let me bring that up for you guys. Scholes and Neville wanted Tuchel, who has played a lot of 3 at the back, also known for falling out with the board every club he's at. Our legends are more stupid than my cat, poor thing. Do you know what? That's exactly what I was going to say last night about Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt. And I was saying, look, just because they've played football doesn't mean they're experts, right? Doesn't mean we have to take whatever they say as the right thing. Their take on it could be completely different. But anyway, I think this is what's going to happen to us. I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'll give you my prediction. I'll tell you what I think is how we're going to be told and gaslit. We're going to be told that United are going to keep the interim manager. That will buy some time for INEOS not to spend any money. They're not going to be expected to go and buy more players. And then what they're going to do is they're going to go and spend the rest of the season just hyping up the fact that they're going to go and get someone like Tuchel and Ancelotti. And at the end of it all, we're going to end up with some shit manager because no one's going to come to us at the end of the season. Tuchel's not going to come. Imagine if he has a good run with England, and imagine if Ancelotti has a good run with Brazil. Number one, I can't see Ancelotti wanting to come and take over a stressful job at United. I really can't. So I can't see him wanting to do that. I'll be really shocked if he says, all right, I'm going to leave the beaches of Brazil and Sao Paulo, whatever, and I'll jump into the nice cold weather of Manchester. And Tuchel, I can see maybe him thinking, oh, I won't mind coming to Old Trafford. But I think the problem with Tuchel isn't United. It's not the club itself. I think he loves Man United. I think he just does not like the sound of the board, the Glazers and the INEOS. That's what's going to put the managers off. Believe you me, if we think that a manager is going to come in and be like, yeah, I want to work with INEOS, you have to be absolutely bonkers. You have to be bonkers to work with INEOS. Let me play a clip, actually, that's going around social media. Because, look, I'm going to let you guys make your own decision. I'm not here to shove down anything down your throat and saying, oh, this is not going to happen. I'm letting you guys make your own decision. This has been going around all the social media about Thomas Tuchel talking about Old Trafford and his love for Man United.
This must be quite nice for you. You get to come here to Old Trafford and put your feet up.
Yes, I put my feet up. No one puts his feet up in Old Trafford. It's one of the biggest stages in world football. It's a very special atmosphere, and I'm happy to have the privilege to be at the sideline of a Champions League match at Old Trafford. So on these kind of occasions, you need to bring the best out of yourself and out of our team is normal. Nothing else matters.
Because you have already qualified top of the group, there was some insinuation that maybe a first strongest team wouldn't.
All right, I think that's enough. I think that's his that's his take on Old Trafford, and everyone's going all crazy about that, saying, "Oh, that's it. He's coming to United because my man, he's gassed about being at Old Trafford." Yeah, look, yeah, whatever, man, whatever. I'm not taking that seriously. I really am not. I'm looking at that thinking, look, it's fine. Let him be. If he wants to be Man United manager, I can see it happening. But then again, why would he leave a cushy job at England? Although he is, I think the day-to-day management of a club is different to being an England manager. But I can't see him coming. I really can't see him wanting to join Man United. Given his personality, he wants to be the top man. I mean, if we heard Ruben Amorim say on Sunday, I'm the manager, not the coach, I'm telling you, this guy Tuchel, he absolutely, he wants to be the one calling the shots. He wants to be the one dictating who's coming in, who's going out. If they think Ruben Amorim was hard to handle, wait till flipping Tuchel comes in. That's if Tuchel does come in. I think we're just being told lies here by INEOS. They are just putting the feelers out like they always do, like the Glazers do. They put the feelers out to see what the fans will do. So right now, since Ruben Amorim got the sack, they've started putting out press releases about Fletcher with Evans being caretaker managers for the rest of the season. And now they're waiting to see how the fans will react to this news. They're hoping that the fans will be like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense to end of the season. But for me, it doesn't make sense because I'm thinking, well, we're literally, 1-2 points away from the Champions League spots? Why? It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. In 1958, protests are now going on. Yeah, of course. I'm in touch with one of the guys there, and look, they do hard work, man. They do hard work. They get in there, and they're still protesting. But as fans, it's up and down, isn't it? We kind of when things get tough, we go on the back. We're like, right, okay, we're on the backs of the owners. But as soon as we get distracted, but I'm not holding that against any fan because I do the same. As soon as I've got other things to talk about, I'll be talking about them things. And you start thinking, shit, am I being extra negative here talking about INEOS and the Glazers? Should I be positive about the club? And you don't want to be constantly negative because that's no good for anybody. So you do want the club to succeed. You do want Ruben Amorim to succeed. You do want the players to succeed. You want the new signings to succeed. You want everything to come good again. You want the good old days again. You want to be able to be in that position where you can take the piss out of rival fans. I mean, we're missing the grand opportunity to take the piss out of Liverpool right now, and I'm frustrated because right now I would love to get on WhatsApp and take the piss out of Liverpool fans. I'd love it. I'd sit there winding them up about what's going on at Liverpool. But unfortunately, I've got bigger fish to fry right now. I'm thinking at United, I'm thinking, shit, I'm missing this opportunity. You know what I mean? I bet you, as soon as we get our shit in order, Liverpool will be playing well again. And then we'll miss that bloody opportunity to the piss out of all these Liverpool fans who are always on our backs. The leaks about Manu, he was closest to leaving. We saved him, guys. We saved him. Praise us, Manu lovers. They are leaking it, so we will watch Manu as a new signing. Yeah, that's exactly it, man. This is it. You know, I said yesterday, INEOS are very good at manipulating the press to get the news out for themselves, the positive news, and manipulate fans. They are very, very good at doing that. We need to be aware. We need to be aware of this. Okay, we have accepted. Now let's a sensible manager come in and do the basics and required without complicating things further. Well done. Exactly. We just need a competent bloody manager. Just give us a competent man. We're not asking for a lot. This fan base is not hard to please. It's not. We're not asking for anything. We were even happy with Ruben Amorim with his bloody 30-something% win rate at points of this season. We were still contemplating whether we should keep him or sack him. Actually, he's all right. He's doing all right. It was always one win and we're like, okay, we're happy with him. That's what we were like as a fan base. We were always, okay, look, do you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. That's what we're like. And right now, we're not even asking for world-class signings in the January transfer window when we really should be. We're just saying, please, go out there and get a bloody competent manager. Just do the basics right. Just the basics. And they still won't listen. They still won't listen to us. They still will not go out there and do what it takes. And that, for me, is what's frustrating me right now. The last 24 hours have become frustrating for me because I've realised, oh, shit, we're going to go out of the pan into the pot in this situation. Things are not going to improve. We have been gaslit into thinking things are going to improve, but INEOS deep down know that they haven't got the money to improve things. That's what it comes down to, guys. Finances. Finances, finances, finances. INEOS are skint. Do not be fooled about them having the tag of billionaires. And the same thing with the Glazers. They will not be willing to put any money into Man United. That's where the problems all stem from. Money. We haven't got owners who want to put money into this club. And we need to wake up and realise the quicker we do that, the quicker we can actually join in the protest, join in condemning INEOS for their decision making. We had Melissa Reddy, I think it was yesterday. I read it out on my stream yesterday. Her position on United, and it was damning. On INEOS, it was damning. It was damning. And if you missed that, I'll see if I can play it here. But I'm running out of time. I've got so much to talk about. The funny and sad thing is that they used to about 30 mil to sack. They used 30 mil to sack him and his crew. Rather than using that to buy a central midfielder, he hurt Wilcox's feelings. Tell you all you need to know. Yep, this is it. This is why we've got an issue. We've got an issue because this board, it's a vanity project, man. They care about themselves and only about themselves. They care about their feelings. They care about nobody else. They don't really give a shit about the fans. They don't care about the staff. They're happy to get rid of staff that have been working at United for years. They're happy to get rid of lunch money. They're happy to get rid of Sir Alex Ferguson. They're happy to get rid of all the legends. They don't care. All they care about is their back pocket. Huggy, this is a United Supporters channel. Please don't bring religion. Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know who that was. But yeah, thank you, Nish. The Terminator in moderators, man. Nish is doing his job, man. He's smashing it. Thank you, Nish. As always, man. Always here like clockwork. Nish is a proper United fan, man. Seriously. Absolute legend. Our board are begging our interim goes on a good run and can give him permission. Absolutely, this is it. That is the comment of the day, man. We've got our board who are literally begging Fletcher to go on a good run, and they can save a whole pack of money by not appointing somebody else. Do you know what they're thinking in their heads? They're thinking, shit, we've already paid Ruben Amorim now for the rest of his contract. So that's 18 months. So what we need to do now is we need to find a free manager for 18 months. That's what they're looking at. That's what they want. In their ideal world, that would be the best case scenario. So they can turn around and look at the books and say, well, we didn't lose any money because, yeah, we paid off Ruben Amorim, but we still didn't lose any money because we brought in a free manager, caretaker manager. Yeah, we paid him peanuts. I can't see Fletcher being on huge amounts of money. And I think they'll probably, stretch it out till 18 months and then give him a proper contract. So, yeah, look, I definitely think that is the ploy. That is what they are trying to do. They want us to be just simply quiet as a fan base and accept whatever they're doing is the right thing. Laurie Whitwell just posted horrible quotes from Wilcox. Yeah, I've seen them. Look, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. We're going to get drip-fed more and more reasons for why Ruben Amorim was sacked and why we should all hate Ruben Amorim and forget about everything else. He said, I'm a coach at heart. Jason Wilcox told Man United Former Players Association in September. Join my channel, social media, INEOS Glazers out fan. Yep. Helga says, that's a strength in my role now, but also causing me a bit of problem because I always want to interfere in what the managers are doing. Absolute. Do you know what? They're gonna try and gaslight us. They're gonna try and say all sorts to us to convince us that we still are in control and we know what we're doing. That's what they're trying to tell us. That's what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that they know exactly what they're doing. But they don't, man. They don't know anything. Baba, welcome to the channel, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for your comment. The styles of interim manager and the permanent manager should also align according to me. You just don't create more chaos by asking the squad to play 3 different styles of play under a year. Yep, absolutely, man. This is my worry. Baba. Good point. Because when I'm looking at bringing in a new manager, a long-term manager, I keep thinking, well, no, because if we have Fletcher for an extended period of time and he plays in a certain way, so if he says, I want to play 4-3-3, and then we get a new manager in within, 6 months, and then the players have to completely change once again and play a different way, then we're just confusing already confused players. They already have got one brain cell in between themselves, and we're stretching that to the limit. We're stretching that to the bloody limit. Imagine having brought in a couple of managers. They'll have the perfect excuse, these players, because we know what they're like. They're ready to down tools anyway. So the moment they get an excuse about, oh yeah, do you know what? We're gonna we've been asked to play too many different formations. This is not on. That's what it is. And no manager would want to work under a guy like Wilcox. There will be a personality clash between the two. Expect a Maresca type guy to come in X City and mates with Wilcox. Yep. Nobody wants a Wilcox on their flipping back. No manager with any level of respectability will want Wilcox, on their backs constantly, looking over their shoulder. Right? Nobody. Because who the F is Wilcox? you know, in the bigger scheme of things, in the world of football, who the hell is Wilcox? Right? Who is it? And then what? He's gonna look over and he's gonna dictate to the managers what they should be doing. He's gonna interfere with their daily tasks. And why should a manager have to justify his tactics and his formation and his system to Wilcox every bloody week? Just crazy. Why would Maresca even come when he left Chelsea for the same reason Amorim was unhappy with the... But yeah, Maresca's not coming. That's just crazy. No way are we going to get in a manager like him or other managers who want to dictate things at a club. They've heard it from the horse's mouth. They've heard it from Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim has turned around and said, you know, the board want to interfere, and I don't want that. I want to run the club as a manager. And I bet you that's put off a good host of managers who might have thought, oh, I wouldn't mind taking the Man United job. I wouldn't mind doing that. They're going to bring in, whoever they bring in, it's going to be someone who is, you know, simply going to abide by INEOS and Wilcox. But you can imagine who that will be. What kind of manager... You know, who does that? What kind of decent manager would do that? Nobody. No decent manager would come in and want that job. Owners got to go. Fans got to protest. Nothing else matters. Fans are easily distracted. Don't buy shirts. Don't do boycott sponsors. Don't go to games or empty ground if a season ticket holder. Brilliant point there, Rob. Brilliant point. We get distracted. And I'm talking about myself. I'm not having to dig at everybody else either. But I'm talking about myself. The moment things start going slightly well, or you got something to hang on to, you immediately go out, you know, start buying tops, you start going to games, you start funding the Glazers once again. And yeah, we're right. We've got to have a long look, hard look at ourselves and see, like, okay, look, we can't do this because we keep going back and feeding the people that are actually hurting us, that are hurting the club, that are actually doing us over. We need to stop this. We need to actually be the type of people, like fans, who can actually sustain a boycott. By the way, Trav, about what you said in the start, in coming in contact, I only have to work, email, my music. Do you have any socials? Yeah, I've got Twitter, mate. Twitter. If you go on Twitter, it's Man United Stream. You'll see it on there. Let me bring it up. Let me see if I can bring it up for you. Let me see. Yeah, just follow me on Twitter, and then you can. It's Man United Stream Pod. That's what it is. Man United Stream Pod. Let me see if I can bring it up on here. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring it up on here. Yeah, I will. There we go. And then there we go. I'm going to bring it up on the screen for you so you can see it. That's it. Man United Stream Pod there. Guys, if you're on Twitter, you know, that madhouse called Twitter, you can follow me on there. I'm not really on Twitter much, I must admit. But if you are, yeah, you can follow me there. So, yeah, Helga, go on there, get on there, and then I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you later, mate. I'll speak to you later. But yeah, let's just finish off with a few more chats here. Manchester United Way says, if the so-called interim gets us Champions League football, how can we even him be denied him of a permanent contract after it? The fans will be unsatisfied again. Yeah, this is the problem we've got. I think if he does well, we can't then say, look, get rid of him either. We can't say that. That's a problem. We've got to go out there and say, well, look, if he does a decent job, okay, he gets the job. But then how long will that last? How long will this last? I think what the problem with us is that we are always looking for the short-term resolution, but not long-term. That's our problem. That's our problem. We always need to be looking at long-term solutions right now. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've gone way over an hour. I always say an hour max, but I always go way over. I want to thank everybody who's joined in. Helga, Lucky, Manchester United Way, Niche, of course, like always. You guys make the show. Abraham, welcome. Big up, Travis. I believe we are not going to qualify for Champions League. And Amorim should have called the owners much earlier. I think he should have called them out, much earlier. Yeah, we should have. But anyway, I want to thank everybody. It's been an absolute crazy stream this morning. I'll be back later on this evening, probably about 9ish or 8 o'clock, when I've got some more information about who this new manager might be, could be. Are we going to be waiting a long time, or are we going to have to not wait too long before we see a new manager? I guess it all depends on the result against Burnley tomorrow. I think if we win and if we're convincing under our new caretaker manager, we might actually be looking at our new permanent manager. That's what we could be looking at. Dave, every day we are clearly shown that the Glazers should have made the full sale of the club. There's zero trust in INEOS. All of them should pack their things and leave our club. Boom. That is it, guys. We need to join forces and not accept this shit from these guys. They're always going to screw us over. We're going to be at this point again in 2 years' time. I'm telling you, if we do not get rid of the Glazers and INEOS together, we will be here once again. 2 years' time, we're going to be discussing the same shit again. Another manager walking, another manager getting the sack, and we're back to square one again. And we're going to be told time and time again that the owners are not in the wrong. But I keep saying to you, it all comes down to finances. It all comes down to money. The reality is, INEOS, neither the Glazers, are willing to put any investment into Man United, and we have got a debt of £1.2 billion sat there waiting to be added onto even further. That's a problem. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much, Dave. Welcome again to the show. Like always, thanks for your comment, mate. And I'll be back later on tonight with an update show as to what we can expect from Man United and the new signing of a new manager. Let's see what happens. Thank you very much, guys. Take it.